Hi everyone, good evening ladies and gentlemen. Our topic today is all about global and demography. First is demography, the study of statistics such as birth, death, income, or the incidence of disease, which illustrate the changing structure of human population. So, ang demography is mo na siya naga-study sila kung pili na buhi, pili na matay, or pila na ilang income, or pila ang na disease or sakit. So, ilan nag-iistadihan kung pila ang population sa isang country. Next. Next is the overpopulation. Refers to the population which exceed its sustainable size within a particular environment of habit. So, ang overpopulation is na sobraan na kay tao. Anagod. For example, the China na nasobraan na sila tao. Pero, naa sila yung law na gibuhat. Ang family is nasa di isa ka anak or duha rajud ka anak nila buhaton. Then, karon na pandemic man, tapos ang China pa ang naghimo og virus. So, mao to nag-less ang China og population, daghang nangamatay. Dili lang kang China ang na virusan kundi ang whole world. So tanan na each of country na bawasan na jud sila. Next. The rural community and urban community. The rural community is often welcomed extra hand to help in crop cultivation, particularly during the planting and harvesting season. The poorer district of urban centers also tend to have families with more children because the success of their small business depends on how many of their members can be hawking their wares on the street. So, the rural communities, mana silang naga pudos o farm sila. Farm ang rural communities. Naga-farming sila ug naga-mining kay mamay ilang pangkwartahan. Wala sila yung pangkwartahan it because dili sa same sa lain sa dili same sa urban communities narito ang big business. Even though na gamay business ang rural community, do gamay member. The gamay member, what big budget, anak god. So, lahir jud sa urban community. Next, the urban community. Educated and professional families with two incomes or heavy desires just one or two progenies with each partner tied down or committed to his or her respective profession, neither has the time to devote to having a kid, much more to parenting. They set aside significant parts of their income for their retirement, health care, and future education on their child and children. So, kaning urban communities, mo na sila ang mga future educated and professional na families. So, nadiri mga ang naang mall, nandiri ang big business, nandiri mga restaurants, mga car, na mga motor, na mga train. Lahat dito sa rural community. Ang ilaha farming lang ilaha and investment and ug mining. So diri ang urban community is educated sila, then nasa mga business and mga kwartahan sila diri kahit because kahit nasa business porket sa rural community is more in farming na din sila, and sa rural community is kulang sila food, kulang sa supply of food, water, and wala po sila mga sa rural communities wala po sila mga cellphone or network. Porket diri sa urban communities na diri ang mga laptops, cellphone network, and dili po sila naga farm is naga-focus jud na sa business na mga restaurant, like mga um, kasagaran diriya is mga nagtrabaho mga tag-iyag mga hotel, dagan pa kay mga parang Jollibee, McDo, Pizza Kaya na good. Na din mga full of mga business. And kuan pod education po sila na din mga big school na ang ilang yung mga anak na pagtarong jud na makagraduate ka. And sa ilang nona is ang ilang anak is education mga kanjud future education na ana ilang mga ingon sa ilang mga anak dire sa urban community. Although na sa rural communities porket kuan lang sila kulang dyan sila supply lang dyan. This urban is more on education. I hope na namin matan sa akong report, and this is the end of my report. Thank you.
So the topic for today is perils of overpopulation. So perils is a danger, in other words. So the danger of overpopulation. So the perils of overpopulation is among the most pressing environmental issue, silently aggravating the forces behind global warming, environmental pollution, habitat loss, the sixth mass extinction, intensive farming practices, and the consumption of finite natural resources such as fresh water, arable land, and fossil fuels at speeds faster than their rate of regeneration. So, by limiting the population, vital resources could be used for economic progress and not be diverted and wasted to feeding more mouths. This argument became basis for government population control programs worldwide. So, this worry is likewise at the core of the economist's argument for the promotion of the reproductive health. Advocates of the population control contend for universal access to reproductive technologies such as condoms, the pill, abortion, and vasectomy, and more importantly, giving women the right to choose whether to have children or not. So, the main point here is the woman is the person who will give the decision if he is willing to get pregnant, to have a children or not. So, the woman is always the right if he choose when or where. So, that's it. And politics determine these birth control programs. Developed countries justify their support for population control in developing countries by depicting the latter of conservative societies. So, some countries justify their support of this population control because population is always increasing in every era, in every generation. So, this is the world population growth through history. So, as you can see, from old Stone Age to modern age, there are a lot of difference because old Stone Age is so very minimal. As for us, the modern age is so very populated. So, as so you can see the difference, diba? Kung makita dyan nga old Stone Age, jud kay minimal lang dyan kayo as kaysa sa modern age. So, makita ninyo nga sa through history, makita dyan ninyo nga ang population jud naga-increase jud, then mo yun ang isa sa issue while ay nganong nagakuan ang population nagkataas.
Good day, everyone. My name is Gian May Lozano, and I'm going to report the topic Women and Reproductive Rights. The character in the middle of this debate, women is often the subject of this population measure. Reproduction rights, supporters argue that if population control and economic development were reach their goals, women must have control over whether they will have children or not and when they will progenies, if any. By giving women this power, they will be able to pursue their vocation, be they economic, social, or able the political, and contribute to economic growth. This serial correlation between fertility, family, and fortune has motivated countries with growing economies to introduce or threaten their reproductive health laws, including abortion. High-income first world nations and fast-developing countries were able to sustain growth in part because women were given the power of choice and easy access to reproductive technology. In North America and Europe, 73% of government allows abortion upon a mother's request. Moreover, the more educated a woman is, the better are her prospect of improving her economic position. Women can spend the most of time pursuing either their higher education or their careers, instead of forcibly reducing this time to take care of their children. Most countries implement reproductive health law because they worry about the health of the mother. In 1960, Bolivia's average total fertility rate, or TFR, was 6.7 children. In 1978, the Bolivian government put into effective a family planning program that included the legalization of abortion. By 1985, the TFR rate went down to 5.13 and further declined to 3.46 in 2008. A similar pattern occurred in Ghana. After the government expanded reproductive health laws out of the same concern as that of the Bolivian government. As a result, fertility declined steeply and continued to decline after 1994. Such examples seemed to draw the attention of other countries. Thus, in 2014, the United Nations report noted that the proportion of countries allowing abortion to preserve the physical health of a woman increased from 63% to 67%, and those to preserve the mental health of a woman increased from 52% to 64%. The opponents regard to reproductive rights as nothing but false front for abortion. They contended that this method of preventing conception endangered the life of mother and must be banned. The religious wing of anti-reproductive rights flanked further and described abortion as debauchery that sully the name of God. It will send the mother to hell and prevents a new soul, the baby, to become human. This position is politically powerful, one partly because various parts of the developing world remain very conservative. Unfailing pressure by Christian groups compelled the governments of Poland, Croatia, Hungary, Yugoslavia, and even Russia to impose restrictive reproductive health programs, including making access to condoms and other technologies difficult. Muslim countries do not condone abortion and limit wives to do domestic chores and delivering babies. Senegal only allows abortion when the mother's life is threatened. The Philippines, with a Catholic majority, now has a reproductive health law in place, but conservative politicians have enfeebled it through budget cuts and stalled its implementation by filing a case against the law in the Supreme Court. A country being industrialized and developed, however, does not automatically assure pro-women reproductive regulations. In the United States, the women's movement of the 1960s was responsible for the passage and judicial endorsement of a pro-choice law. But conservatives controlling state legislators have also slowly undermined this law by imposing a restriction on women's access to abortion. While pro-choice advocates argues that abortion is necessary to protect the health of the mother, their conservative rivals shift the focus on the death of the fetus in the mother's womb as the reason of revising the law. This battle continues to be played out in all political arenas in the United States.
Hello, good evening, ma'am, and good evening to all my classmates. Today I'm going to discuss about the feminism and population and growth. So first is the feminism. A new feminist movement began in the 1960s. Feminism is the belief that men and women should be equal politically, economically, and socially. Economic equality and to equality of treatment in the workplace and society. Some major campaigns: equal pay, equal opportunities and work and education, legal abortion, and later against the male violence. So, ang feminist is muna siya ang person who supports or engage in feminism. And that is the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. So, at the feminist movement began in the 1960s, sumoto ilang pangunahan for the equality of treatment in the workplace and the society, and also for the male violence. Next is the civil rights struggle of the 1950s and 1960s prompted women to examine the ways that the society discriminated against them as a group. So, according to Casey Hayden and Mary King, there seem to be many parallels that can be drawn between the treatment of Negros and the treatment of the women in society as a whole. So, there, murag na ay nahitabo nga discrimination, di ba, kay pag sa mga negro, ito sa Amerika, sa mga negro is murag gina-discriminate na nila, kay murag baba ang pagtanaw sa mga negros. Same as sa women. But one of the goals of 1994 United Nations International Conference on Population and Development suggests recognition of this issue. The country representative to that conference agreed that women should receive family planning, counseling on the abortion, the dangers of sexuality transmitted disease, and the nature of human sexuality and the main elements of responsible parenthood. Population growth and food security. So today's global population has reached 7.4 billion and it is estimated to increase 9.5 billion in 2050, then 11.2 billion by 2100. So demographers predict that the world population will stabilize by 2050 to 9 billion, although they warn that feeding this population will be an immense challenge. So because of overpopulation, ang atong food production is ga-increase pod, and ang atong presyo pod sa atong food is ga taas pod. So kay gataas ang presyo, there are lots of people na nagugutom, nagataas ang bilang sa mga nagugutom. Billions of people already experiencing a hunger all throughout the globe, and because of course, the more nga ga-increase ang presyo ng pagkain, the more na bumababa ang capacity ng mga households para makabili ng pagkain. And of course, this became global concerns according to the statistics, around 800 millions for the past 40 years. So wala siya ga baba, mas naga-increase siya. And of course, na-experience na nato ang climate change karon. There are lots of bagyo every year there is sa Philippines, and we're experiencing strong typhoons, tropical storms, basta mga ana. And with that, maapektuhan ang atong food productions, magkaroon ng baha o mga guba ang mga tanom. And tapos kung mag-init, di ba, mag-drought, and we're experiencing El Nino. So isa po na siya sa mga makaapekto sa atong food security. So very important no sa food security ang research development kumpara unsaon pag-solve sa mga ing-ani nga problems unsay kailangan nila nga technology, unsay gamiton lang nga technology para mapadali or masolve nila dali ang ing-ani mga problems. So that is very important, the research development.